Hey, how you guys doing today? Ryan with CPP Tech. Today we're actually going to show you how to mount a TV on the wall. If you can tell, this one's up here. We had that old one, but I took that old one down. I'll go over that in my live show tomorrow. Uh, we picked this one up. I'm going to probably do the unboxing later and show you the UFO test or whatnot. But today we're just going to focus on how to mount the TV on the wall. So it's a pretty much a step-by-step tutorial, what tools you need and whatnot. And it should be pretty brief. It doesn't take that long to do so. So why don't we just jump over to the tutorial side and we'll have at it. All right, so these are going to be the things that you need actually to mount this before we get over to the wall. Most of your mounts, you got your mount here, and these brackets here, they actually go on the TV itself, and we'll get to that part when we get to the TV part of it. But most of your mounts come with 4 lag bolts that go into your studs, and they also actually come with plastic wall anchors if you don't have studs in the right place. But I highly recommend your first choice is a stud. What I normally do is I go down to the local hardware store and I take one of these with me and actually get a little bit better grade lag bolt. But if you don't have that option, these are okay. Just be wary or just be careful, because I have over tightened these, and not really over tightened, but they've broken on me inside the stud, and then now you're stuck moving it up or missing one lag bolt. It's not that critical for the bottom one per se, but if it happens on in the top 2, I'd be leery on it, just because when the TV's hanging on the wall, it's putting pressure on the bottom one. So most of your weight's actually being supported with the top and not the bottoms anyway. But that's why I go to the local hardware for this. You need a stud finder. You need a Phillips head screwdriver, and that's for the mounts on the TV. I like to use a Sharpie. You can use a pencil or what have you. That's just to measure or to mark your first hole, and I'll show you that in a second. I use a tape measure because it's pretty much where you're going to guide where you're going to put it at on the wall. As you see behind me, where that other 55-inch that you saw earlier in my videos, we've taken that one down. We're replacing it with this one. So I've actually moved. When we get in there, you'll see the holes from the old where the mount used to be at. I'm moving it up about 1.5 inches. So we'll get to that in a second. And then your ratchet. So basically, whatever hex head size this is, which happens to be 1/2 inch, you get a socket, because you're gonna want to use this one for the lag bolts. You get your drill, and then I got a 3/16 drill bit. What I always like to do is a pilot hole first before I put the lag bolt in. It helps it go through a lot easier than trying to go through the drywall, which this is paneling, but you're gonna probably be having drywall. Going through the drywall and then trying to catch onto that stud. Doing a pilot hole makes the job a whole lot simpler. And then a leveler. So we're going to show you the pretty easy way to mount any mount. Like I said, this is a scissor mount, but a lot of them, I got 90-degree tilt mounts upstairs on all the TVs, but I wanted the scissor mount for behind the other monitor I have here, so I can move it in and out and readjust it. So that's why we're using a scissor mount on this today. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get over there and we'll start mounting this puppy up. All right. Okay, guys. So the first thing you're going to want to do is grab your tape measure, and it doesn't matter which one you use, but what you're actually going to do is measure from the floor to the wall and figure out where it is that you want to mount your mount at. And then what you're going to do is mark that with a pencil. I like to use a pencil on that part of it. I know I said Sharpie earlier. However, Sharpies don't go away, pencils do. But mark that roundabouts. What I like to do first sometimes when I'm gauging how high it is, I like to find out where that stud's at. And like in my case, it's right about there. So, but what I like to do is find where it's at on, from the floor up. And I just put a piece of paper or a pencil down there, and then I measure up to where I want it on the wall, and then I come back in here on top, and I grab that stud finder and find where it's at, and then mark it. I did already mark where I want this one at because I had to measure it before I took that mount off, because I'm raising it up about 1.25 inches. So we're marked right there. I want to double check where the stud's at. So starting there and it disappears. So I know from my previous mark, I'll probably go over this a little bit. But then what you're going to do is you're actually going to grab your drill with the bit, and we're going to line up that mark that we got, and we're going to do a pilot hole. It's going to get loud. You know you got it because wood's going to come out. So what I always like to do is I like to take my lag bolt first and pop it in there and just give it a quick start. Not too much, and then I like to bring it back out. So at this point we're going to grab that mount, and to be quite honest, it's probably a lot easier to have help with this, but I'm going to attempt to do this by myself because I've done quite a few of them by myself. So I know it's going there. Line that up. Another reason why you start that, because you can manually start it with your fingers and get that going. You can grab your ratchet, make sure it's going the right way. What I do is sometimes we just let it slide down and hang, because you're doing this by yourself. Like I said, it's a lot easier having help, but a lot of times you just let it sit. So we'll speed this up. Okay, so right now it's somewhat loose. We're almost to the end. What I like to do is go a little more until it's snug. We know it's snug because it just moved. So what I like to do is grab that leveler, and what we'll do is we'll move this up like so, pop that level on there, and we're looking at this bubble. And what I like to do is tighten this one back up as much as we can. So now that's tight. There's a lot of weight, so this is a big mount. Most of the time, the smaller mounts, they actually will stay once it's solid. Now that that's almost tight, what I like to do is come over to the other side and find the stud, and I'll throw a mark right about here. I've got these holes so I know where they're at, but what I suggest doing is putting a mark, with a pencil. That way whenever you bring this up with the level, you know where it's at. So I'd probably put it down below or up high, just around there or down in here. That way you know where that stud's at. So what we're going to do is get that level back on there, because we don't want to pre-drill that hole crooked. So now that that's mounted, like I said, it's a lot easier with two people. So if you got your mark down here, you know where it's at. You can either do the bottom or the top first. I like doing the top first. I mean, you can do it the diagonal way as well, but it's gonna get loud. All right, get rid of the level. Let that lay down. And grab the lag bolt. Just rinse and repeat. Alright, so now that that's started, go ahead and pull this up. You can adjust it over left or right if you want. Some actually have a solid hole and is exactly 16-inch center. So you really can't screw up. However, these have it slotted so you can go back and forth to adjust, which is nice too. Alright, so it's starting to tighten up. So I'll snug them real quick, and then I'll throw the level back on there, and that bubble looks pretty good, so we're gonna give it one more little tight. There it goes, and our bubble's there. So now all we gotta do now is the bottom two, and we're golden going to the TV. So what's really nice too, since you get the top two, you can just line up the holes here and just eyeball it, and then you can pre-drill your hole for the other ones. That one in there. Pop this one in here. Get this one started. Make sure you take your level off. That one tight. Tight and tight. Alright, so now we've successfully mounted the mount. So it ain't going anywhere. So let's go unbox that TV. Okay, so these 4 holes here are actually where you're gonna mount your bracket at. So we're actually going to take out these two screws. And here's the thing. In your mount for your wall mount, it's going to come with a whole bunch of different size screws, okay? You need to figure out which ones fit what. Sometimes they're different sizes for the top and bottom, sometimes they're not. Lengths too, like so. What we're going to do first is mount this one. So if you can tell, they've got slots and then you got separate holes. So that just helps you go up and down however you're going to mount that TV. And I got a feeling that I may be taking this down and remounting again. Okay, so if this comes down, the TV goes up. This goes up, the TV goes down. So we're going to actually probably try it right there. And honestly, what I'm probably going to do is grab the trusty tape measure, because I know that the bottom rung that this is going to hang on to is right there. So I'm actually going to measure that to the bottom. So that's 5 inches, roughly 5 3/4. Eight and a quarter. That's gonna be. It's gonna have to be. All right, so we're at 8 1/4. So now you got these screws. You're gonna screw those on. Okay guys, so you don't want to over tighten these, because then you're done. Alright, so now what we're going to do is actually take the TV and try to mount it on the table. My weight, my weight, my weight, my weight. Okay. That's going to go over. You know, maybe I'm going to do it myself. This TV is so light. Go back there and see if I'm. I can't see if I'm. Which one? You're bouncing the camera. Well, it feels like it's on, but I don't want to let go. Please don't fall. No, I'm not. Okay, go over this way. Now I'm on.
I can't see.
I can feel. I'm on.
Okay, now do we get a tighten?
Oh.
Now this is good.
Making sure that's on. Now, what a hassle, sorta.
Now I'll put it in the other one.
Alright. This thing's only like 27 pounds. Where's screwdriver? So yeah, we were a little bit shaky there, guys. I'm sorry about that. Camera was on the table that we're working on. And I'll probably spin this around the other side so I can put that one on. And we'll do a peel and a B-roll. It's gonna probably shake on you again. See my bald head. Alright, time for the plastic peel. What? Oh, no way. Oh. All one piece. Woo-hoo. All right, that was stupid. Find the plug. All right, so we're actually gonna skip over hopefully skip over the wireless and the stuff. I got an Ethernet cable that's gonna get plugged into there. Oh, set up. English, United, home use, connect, internet later. Everything is plugged in and turned on. That's the one I want. Voila. All right, guys, I hope you found that useful and educational. It's simple. It's real simple. I did it mostly myself. I recruited my boy to help with the TV because it was just so large and somewhat awkward. But once we got it onto the the table. I was able to just lift up and put it on. You saw me struggle with it a little bit, but I was trying to avoid hitting some of these monitors. When you're hanging this in your living room, you're not going to have that much of a problem on your wall. Bedroom, living room, wherever you decide to put it on. Now this was a scissor mount. Same principle goes to the 90-degree tilt mounts and whatnot. So anyway, if you like this, subscribe, throw a like, and we thank you very much for watching. Check out some of my other builds, like the retro build, the midlife crisis. I'm on Twitch. We're doing a show tomorrow at noon. That one's going to be fun. We're doing a contest between my two boys on who gets to have their computer built first. So check me out over there at CPP Tech 2020. And if you miss it, I will load it back up on YouTube tomorrow after we get done with it. So anyway, take care, guys. I hope that was helpful. Be good to each other, and we will see you tomorrow. Well, unless you watch this after tomorrow, then we'll see you the next time. Bye.